In a crypto market that's being super cautious right now, there's one name that's suddenly causing a whole lot of debate and a ton of curiosity. Pi Network. Yeah, this is the project that so many people mocked, called it not real, and now all of a sudden it's dominating searches and discussions. So what on earth is actually going on? Let's get into it. And that's really the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why now? After years of basically being on the sidelines, why is this project suddenly the center of attention? Well, the answer is pretty simple. And for the rest of the market, it might just be a little bit dangerous. So we have to look at this whole thing like a mystery that's just resurfaced. Something has clearly changed. Why has the story around Pi Network flipped so hard from being completely dismissed to, well, intense speculation? And this contrast you see here, it's everything. In the past, the project was basically a running joke in some circles. Now, it's one of the hottest topics out there. This is the conflict, the big question we're here to figure out. What caused this massive shift? Okay, so here's the thing. The reason for all this sudden attention isn't some huge marketing campaign or a celebrity shouting it out. No, it's because the project has quietly moved into a totally different phase, one that's been built pretty much in secret, behind the scenes. And this is absolutely crucial to understand. While most of the world was looking the other way, real work was actually getting done. We're talking about a network that's already up and running, even if it's in a closed state. Developers are building and even using applications inside this ecosystem right now. The community has ballooned to a massive size, millions of people, and big tech upgrades are happening without any of the usual crypto fanfare. And that brings us to a really important point. In the crypto space, it's not always the loudest projects you need to watch. Sometimes it's the quiet ones, the ones making steady, under-the-radar progress that can just pop up out of nowhere and completely change the game. But here's the twist in the story. Most of the people who are just now starting to pay attention, they're still focusing on the completely wrong thing. They're asking a very, very common question, but one that might be totally superficial. And this is it, right? This is the question you see everywhere. How much will it be worth? When moon? It's all about the price, the speculation, that dream of a quick profit. But what if asking that question means you're missing the entire point? But what if focusing on the price is the biggest mistake you could possibly make with this project? What if that question is actually a distraction from something much, much bigger that's taking shape? Now, this might be the real question we should be asking. Is Pi Network just another crypto coin to be traded back and forth? Or is it actually preparing to become its own self-sustaining economic system? Thinking about it that way completely reframes the entire discussion. So let's run with that idea for a minute. Anyone who's been following the project's development really closely starts to see a pattern, and it's a pattern that sets it completely apart from the pack. It's being built less like a speculative asset and more like a foundational economy. I mean, just look at the difference in strategy here. Your typical crypto project, it's all about speculation and trading volume. Pi, on the other hand, seems intensely focused on real-world use. It's encouraging people to hold and use the currency inside its ecosystem, linking it to actual products and services, and being incredibly careful about its circulating supply. These are just not the moves of a typical pump-and-dump crypto. Okay, so with all this seeming progress, why is there still so much hate for the project? Well, there's a really compelling theory. It suggests that this criticism isn't a sign of failure, but a sign of what you could call delayed understanding. It's a reaction from people who dismissed it early, or maybe sold what they had too soon, and now every piece of good news creates this anxiety. Because let's be honest, in the world of investing, one of the worst feelings is realizing you were wrong about something huge. All of this leads us to a potential future scenario, and it's one that, if it actually plays out, could genuinely scare the established crypto market. Okay, just imagine this playing out. Step 1, the main network opens up to everyone. Step 2, trading is turned on, but maybe in a controlled, stable way, not a total chaotic free-for-all. And step 3, this is the real kicker. The coin is already plugged into a whole ecosystem of real, widely used apps from day one. What's the result? You're not just launching another coin, you might be launching a turning point for the entire market. And that's exactly why this is so unsettling for so many people. Markets crave predictability. They absolutely hate surprises, and they especially hate a surprise of this size coming from a project that everyone wrote off and underestimated for years. So, after laying all of this out, The point here isn't to tell you whether Pi is going to succeed or fail. It's about empowering you to ask the right questions based on what we're actually seeing. The question really isn't, will Pi succeed? The real question, the one you have to ask yourself, is this. With its massive community, its functioning ecosystem, and its incredibly unique strategy, can you afford to completely ignore a project with these kinds of specs at this stage, right now? What happens next could change a whole lot of minds. And as they say, the people who pay attention early are often the ones who see things the rest of the crowd misses.